Kyrie Irving has reportedly gone from having no market to now drumming up interest with a couple of teams. We'll talk about who those teams are and what are the chances they'll land with them and the impact of it right now. Listen, if you're new to the channel, this is P.kidd Talks NBA. We'll get right back into the video. Man, listen, Kyrie Irving is one of my favorite players. Wizard with the basketball, phenomenal. But at the end of the day, he is a Dallas Maverick, and Mark Cuban seems very hell-bent on keeping him as a Dallas Maverick. However, Kyrie Irving is out there testing the waters with his opportunity in free agency. And one of the teams that he's been reported linked to is the Phoenix Suns, first and foremost. Now, here's the interesting thing about the Phoenix Suns. They ain't got no money. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. You have to do you're going to have to really break that down to me, because apparently, I don't know if he don't know, but I'm sure he does. But Bradley Beal just got traded there, and Bradley Beal make a heck of a lot of money. And Kyrie Irving, who was eligible for, $272 million max contract. I don't see him taking that significant of a pay cut to make it feasible or worth it to go to the Phoenix Suns. I mean, we're talking about the super team of super teams, and at the same time, who the heck? It's only one ball. Like, what is the purpose of having 4 top 15 players on the same team? I have no idea, but I don't see that working out. But again, I'm not here to be biased. I'm just here to give you the news as is reported. But that's where he's meeting, and that's who he's going to meet with tomorrow, Friday. Apparently today's Thursday. So again, team is interested. How that works out, heck if I know. I mean, let's be honest. If Kyrie Irving goes to the Phoenix Suns right now, you might as well wrap it up. The only thing stopping them is injury at this point. Injury. And if they cannot fill out the roster, which apparently they may be able to, if he's even willing to go there. Now, here's the thing. You could sit there and there's someone who's actually gone through the mental gymnastics of seeing how that could possibly work. Some of it includes players restructuring contracts to make it work, which I don't see happening. I know that everyone wants to believe that, but I don't think anyone wants to pay. That's a massive restructuring to make that happen there. And so at the end of the day, I don't know. And again, just reporting it as it is, Phoenix Suns is who he's meeting with, and it'd be something of a reunion there. Now, that's me. I've given you my biased opinion. I've told you, you apparently know I don't like it, but now how could it actually work? From a ball perspective, I mean, Kyrie played great point guard with Luka. I've seen Kyrie play as a good point guard in other destinations. I just don't see it. I'm going to be honest with you. I just don't see it. I don't even know why it's even being entertained. But again, that's where he's going. Now, another team that's actually sprung up in this whole thing is the Dallas Mavericks. And the Dallas Mavericks are interesting because, again, not only do I think he actually fits there, I think that they're just 1 or 2 pieces away from actually having not only a really good contending team, but a potential championship team. And I really mean that. They're like 1 or 2 defensive anchors away. Rebounding defensive anchors from being a nice high-powered offense and a really decent defense. And you combine the two, I mean, realistically, I know that they lost a lot of games and after the All-Star break, but they lost some really, really close games where they were still trying to figure out who takes out the last shot, things of that nature, and stuff you just don't expect to continue to go on. They were really in the hunt for a lot of things, and I could see them pulling it together if they were able to get some good defensive players there, because shooting obviously is not their flaw, and that's a good thing for them. So I actually think that, I think he stays a Dallas Maverick. I think he's actually just trying to see what other people are talking about. He's keeping his options open, which he should. He's trying to drum up the market for it, but at the end of the day, I don't see. There's no way in the world that he ends up in a Phoenix Suns jersey over a Dallas Maverick jersey, at least from a monetary perspective, unless Kyrie all of a sudden is becoming so philanthropic that he's giving away money back to the Phoenix Suns for that purpose. But again, I want to hear your thoughts on it. What do you think? If he goes to Phoenix, does he go there? How does that work? One of you, all I know smarter than me, is going to be able to give me how that's even possible. Like I said, someone else did it. The numbers didn't sound right to me, but hey, I'm not always the brightest bub in the pack, so we'll keep it moving on that one. The last team that's been associated with him, and this is really because their target doesn't seem to be someone that they are actually going to land, and that's that Miami Heat. Now, Kyrie to Miami has actually been flirted with before. It's not a pie in the sky. It's not a far-fetched rumor. In fact, it's actually been something that was flirted with when he was in Brooklyn. Maybe, maybe not, but it ultimately was discussed, and it was discussed openly, apparently. However, it obviously didn't come to fruition. But now with the Miami Heat making their finals run, actually needing someone of his skill set. Now, here's the difference. They actually need someone who can do what he does. If you actually put Kyrie on that team, you got a different look in Miami, and it doesn't take much to actually see that, hey, Kyrie with the Jimmy Butler and you keep Bam, they could go pretty far if you put some other shooters around them. In fact, they just be a very, very more aggressive and well-tuned and coached Dallas Maverick team, if you ask me. Obviously, Jimmy is not Luka, but when it comes to sheer will and winning, Jimmy's actually one of the most clutch players in NBA history. So I can't sit there and say that he's not on Luka's level. Let's just say playoff Jimmy is a different Jimmy. All right. If you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, for some odd reason, this man is Goku in the clutch, but Yamcha during the regular season. If you get it, you get it. But at the end of the day, he's been flirted with as someone who can land there if they don't get Dame. And for some odd reason, I actually like the idea of Kyrie Irving being there more, mainly because they wouldn't have to trade for him. In fact, he could literally just sign with them. He's a free agent. He's not a restricted free agent. And so they would still have to probably make some cap space and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. But they don't have to necessarily gut their team to get him if he agrees and is even interested in going there. I could see Kyrie doing it, to be honest with you. I think that environment would actually allow him to thrive. It's all people who just want to hoop, and apparently that's all he cares about. And so when you put that together, I think that's a winning combination. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Just thinking about it now, as I prepared for this video, I looked at it as, if he doesn't end up re-signing with the Dallas Mavericks, him going to Miami made so much sense. And it would instantly put them over hump. Now, Miami's may already have the money to pay him. I do have to do a little more research on that one. Again, this is something that literally just hit the waves a couple of minutes before I actually start making this particular video. And I could see it working. I'm not going to lie to you. I could see Pat Riley absolutely working with him. And, for some odd reason, a lot of people misunderstand where Kyrie's coming from a lot of times. And we're not going to get into all the political beliefs and what all stuff he believes. But as far as how he likes business handled, he's always maintained that he just wants someone to be fair and straight up with him. And apparently that's not what he got with the Nets. And if you followed that storyline, that's not what he got with the Nets. That's also why Kevin Durant was wanted to leave. Because I'll be honest with you, the Nets, when they finally got it together, Kyrie was hooping, KD was hooping, the team around them, they were one of the best teams in the league. They had I think they had one of the longest win streaks last season of any team. When they had the KD and Kyrie combination, they were cooking, but apparently they didn't want to deal in good faith with Kyrie on the contract. And by all means, if you're not going to deal in good faith with you, then you should be able to leave. Now, that rabbit hole goes a lot deeper than most people want to believe. Some people just want to believe the narrative and what was reported at certain times by biased news reports. But if you actually go into the timeline and, Stephen A. started to walk back some of his comments because of it, the Nets didn't do good business. And they were trying to put stipulations that ultimately didn't apply to anyone else. And that it cost them their opportunity to still compete right at the cusp of them pulling it together. But again, I want to know your thoughts. Where do you think Kyrie lands? Kyrie, again, is one of my favorite players, one of the most exciting players to me to play. When he's on the court, as Stephen A. has once said, $50 million a year, no question. No question. It ain't even close. But I want to hear your thoughts. Whether it's love, whether it's hate, put it in the comments. I'll be in there with you. Again, off season's getting off to a bright start. It's just getting started, baby. We got a lot to cover in the days to come. I'll be out there with you. Peace.